The content provided in this live stream is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, investment, or legal advice. Cryptocurrency investments are speculative and involve risk. Please conduct your own research and consult with a professional advisor before making any investment decisions. With that said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the program.
Okay, all right. When you are, guys.
Okay. Hey, so we're recording.
Great. Let's go.
Let's go. Hey, everybody. Welcome again to another fantastic episode of the EquityPay live stream. And we're just really glad you're here. Tonight, we're going to be talking about how cryptocurrency helps entrepreneurs. My name is Ben English. I'm here with Mark Shaner and Albert Milligan. And let's just start with you guys. How do you guys consider yourselves entrepreneurs? Why would we want to dig into that topic tonight? How are you an entrepreneur? Albert, why don't you go first?
I think for me, ever since I was young, let's say 18 and 19, it's something that is within your blood. I'm the type that I don't like to be told what to do. I feel like I've always been creative. I've always been able to have a spirit of an entrepreneur where you take risk. You don't focus so much on losing money. You focus more on creating whatever your dreams and realities are. So I was even able to go up to high levels within the corporate world without even having a degree. So it's really a desire that's within an individual, and it's a spirit that you tap into that makes you a little bit different from the average person.
Yeah, thanks. No, I hear you. That sounds great. Mark, how about yourself?
Well, I determined at a very young age that I was psychologically unemployable. And my friends confirmed that to me. So then I didn't have any choice but to be an entrepreneur and make my own way. But I'm not like Albert. I've lost plenty of money being an entrepreneur. and I've made some great money too, so I can't complain. But I guess I'm a lot like Albert. I didn't want my experience of working with other people is that a lot of silly stuff goes on. A lot of things are done that don't need to be done.
Yeah,
there's a lot of waste of time, waste of money, waste of energy, and I just have a hard time participating in that. And if I'm going to do something dumb, let it be of my own free will and choice. And so I'd rather work for myself.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
And I can only blame myself.
You can only blame yourself. Yeah, and thank you. I really vibe with that. I love your hat too. Yeah, BYU. I gave them a lot of money. And I actually graduated from that fine institution. I left it as quickly as I could, and I moved to the San Francisco Bay Area back in the early crazy days of the .com stuff. So I was out there in the wild, wild west working for startups and things like that. So entrepreneurs and being with entrepreneurs and helping entrepreneurs out is just something that I've done my whole professional life. So when I think about cryptocurrency and the way that it's transforming the whole business landscape, it just seems like it offers a ton of new opportunities and tools for entrepreneurs, for people like you and I, and the folks that are ideally listening to this stream. So we all believe that we got to get more entrepreneurial, right? We got to do it. The world demands it of us. So,
well, yeah, I mean, you're totally. The thing is, the landscape's changing. You know, we're looking at a new industrial revolution, really, on how business is done, how money's transacted. And if we don't get on board, we're going to miss it. The beautiful thing about, entrepreneurship in a crypto world or a digital world is everything you can think about, whether it's finances, time, traffic, results, everything is enhanced because of the new technology. And time is always money. And anytime you can enhance results, I got a friend that says most direct path to what? Revenue? Is that what he says?
Direct path to revenue.
There you go. And so anyway, this is one of the best direct paths to revenue there is. And it's the new wave of doing business. Just got to embrace it. Just got to get after it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, great. So we're going to talk about a couple of things tonight. I've got some graphs and things that I want to throw up on the screen and get your reaction to them. One of the biggest advantages for entrepreneurs is the lower transaction fees that you see with crypto versus some traditional payment systems, whether like credit cards or Western Union and things like that. Not to badmouth Western Union, they're good folks, but take a look at this. Take a look at this and tell me what you think of this. Okay, in fact, I'm just going to blow that all the way up. No, I'll put our faces back on there. There we go. Yeah. So looking at this, we've got Western Union, and this is, so if we look at this, you can see that the average transaction time, 3 to 5 days for Western Union. Average fee, $9.70. I know that this is about normal for me when I send things to Asia. Does this seem normal to you guys? I think these are international shipments, international transfers.
Yeah, that looks normal. And since we're talking about being an entrepreneur, if it takes 5 to 7 days to receive payment for any type of a transaction, it kind of slows things down in the process.
It's a lifetime.
It slows the shipping down. It slows down the ability to continue to go in marketing, in the sense that you can't do anything until you get payment. And if that payment's held up, there's usually someone that has to keep following up. Where's the payment? Where's the payment? Is it lost? Did you send it? That type of thing.
Suspense builds. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
And the other thing, when you compare it to crypto, for example, you're literally getting crypto transactions in minutes, where if you look at traditional means, I don't care if it's a bank, Western Union, any means that use the existing system, you're looking at days. Mm-hmm. Where with crypto, you're looking at almost instantaneous, in the sense of 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes in certain situations for the faster networks. And even with Bitcoin, if it took a couple of hours, you're still getting it the same day. And for an entrepreneur, that means a lot, because now you're able to deliver that product or service immediately.
Right. And you're getting into time value of money stuff, where people need to make quick decisions, and they can't wait. They can't wait a week or 2 days. Which
actually makes your customer that you're servicing a lot happier. They don't have to wait days and days and get their product or whatever they're trying to do.
That's right.
That's transaction immediate.
And this just seems normal. This seems natural. I mean, we're living in the future, right? We've got Disneyland on 2 coasts. We can put a man on the moon. We should be able to move money quick, speedy, fast. Okay. Well, great. So thank you. So we've got reduced costs, reduced time. There's also another aspect here that I wanted to get into tonight, and I'll throw this up on the screen next. This is talking through the different types of enhanced security and fraud prevention. And I lied. I don't have a slide for this one. What I'll do is I'll go and edit this out, you guys, just so you know. I'll pull this at the end. So I wanted to ask you guys, about some of the enhanced security and fraud prevention features of using crypto versus using another form of traditional transactions. Do you have any thoughts on that? Why is crypto more secure?
The way that crypto is designed, since everything's done on the blockchain, everything on that blockchain is accessible, in the sense that all the transactions are public transactions. Okay. So being transparent in that sense, then the way that you program the network itself, everything is pretty much secure when you're looking at public and private keys. Mm-hmm. So we talked about public and private keys last week. So your real security itself is the structure of the public keys and the private keys. That's your security. So if you're able to maintain both public and private keys, that's the foundation of any blockchain project. So you become the manager of those keys, which you are the facilitator of the security.
Gotcha. Okay.
The other thing, Ben, and this was a way for a while. I don't know if it is now so much, but you remember when you go buy stuff, you could go, it didn't matter whether you went to, a cash machine or whether you went to get gas. Certain entrepreneurs would have placed things in them that would copy your credit card when you stuck it in, right?
Skimmers. Yeah.
And so, there you are, everything you got stolen. They're using your stuff. The ID is stolen. And, ID theft is a big thing today.
Mm-hmm.
In my house, when I'm doing my work on my blockchain with my crypto, first, there's nobody looking over my shoulder. Second, there's nobody coming to my house sticking stuff in my computer to get my information. And so all that stuff is private to me, only known by me, as Albert just said. And I don't have to worry about interacting out in the world, worrying about every scammer's new idea to get gain,
Yeah.
at my expense, right?
So one thing I do want to add, when you have private keys, someone has to have access to the private keys to be able to send transactions. Mm-hmm. And that's the way that the network is set up. If they don't have access to a private key, nothing's going to happen. That's why you as an individual, you safeguard those private keys, whether it's on a mobile phone, a desktop computer, or however you do business, because you want to be the only one to access it, or trusted people to be able to access it, because now you're acting just like a bank. And that's how you have to think, just like a bank would.
Okay. Yeah. You are your own bank, as we've talked about in the past when it comes to this. I mean, it seems like it's insanely secure. It reduces the risk of fraud, ensures both parties are fulfilling their obligations in terms of payments and things like that. But, I think, if I put on the crypto or the cybersecurity hat, I'm thinking, the real weakness is what it's always been forever. And that's the wetware. That's the humans that you're dealing with. So the hackers are going to find that vector to attack, since this is a more hardened attack vector for them. Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you. Another thought I was having tonight as we were getting ready for this, during our lifetimes, one of the biggest changes in the world has been how the global market has just opened up for everything. We've got a much more equitable share of goods and services around the world. There's fewer people who live in poverty now, percentage-wise, than there's ever been in as long as I've been alive. And I was thinking about the benefit of cryptocurrency and how it opens up an access to a global market. Okay, so the ability to reach people around the world, since you can move currency across borders, and since that transfer is going to be safe, you've got a huge benefit to small businesses and startups who maybe they don't have the resources to handle super complex international payment systems. Here, let me throw this up. I want to show you guys this and get your reaction to this. This is showing the where cryptocurrency usage is high around the world. This really illustrates a global reach. How do you guys respond to this? What do you think of this?
So when you first look at it, it looks like Russia seems to be on the leading edge of adopting crypto in the economic environment, which that's where everything is moving towards. So again, when you think about crypto, there really is no central bank or anything involved, because it's the network. You're doing peer-to-peer transactions. Wherever you look on this map, you're able to send transactions from one country to any other country within minutes. And it's just a matter of being able to have that individual's public address to send whatever coin of your choice. So as we continue to move forward in the future, you're going to continue to see more adoption, because we're getting away, in my opinion, from being competitive and being more cooperative as a world. And that's where we want to move towards, because there's plenty enough to go around. And for those who want to control everything and say, well, I'm the king of the hill, I think as we continue to transition, I think the world is demanding that we cooperate and spread things around so everyone has an opportunity to have a really good life.
I like that. Yeah.
The global thing you brought up is real important too.
Yep.
Because it totally opens up a whole another ball game for people. There's a small, one of my sons lives up in Blue Ridge, Georgia. It's in the mountains. And we know a family up there who owns a business. They're selling high-end wines and a few other things, cheeses and all. And when they originally started that business years ago, it's just for the traffic, visitors and stuff coming through Blue Ridge. and they were making a living, but nothing great. Now, because of the global market, crypto and other things, they sell their product all over the world. 90% of their business is not even done at that store. It's done shipping, overseas and handling, and they transactions all the time. So they turned a very local business, which is what everybody used to do, the mom and pop local business, trying to serve the local community. They turned it into an international business.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, okay. And that kind of segues into this other spot. I'm going to maybe throw a curveball at you guys here a little bit, because I want to ask you what you think about the global supply chain and how that's affected. Let me just throw that graphic up here. So we've got a global supply chain, right? There's suppliers, manufacturers, we've got distribution always, that's important. And then the transactions that take place between customers around the world and retailers around the world. How does a blockchain ensure transparency and traceability and keep all of this safe? Not just talking about using crypto as money and as a form of exchange for goods and services, but all of the pieces of the supply chain. This is going a little bit far afield from other things we've talked about so far. Talk to me about the public ledger.
Okay, so on the ledger itself, when we talk about blockchain, all the transactions that move on a minute-by-minute basis are being recorded. So for example, when you send a transaction from point A to point B, that transaction has an ID number, and you know that it ends up at the destination. I'm going to quickly show you what's called an explorer. Why don't we go ahead and show that real quick, Ben, on the screen.
There you go.
So this is what is called an explorer. This is where all the staking and mining happens, and this is where all the transactions happen.
And so this is for example, this is for the EquityPay coin, right?
That's right. This is for EquityPay coin itself. This is our network. If you went to EquityPay.online and you wanted to look at any transaction, and the reason why they call it a blockchain is because everything is assigned a block number. So this would be the height, that would be the block, that would be the number of confirmations, and this would be the actual transaction itself, okay? So this transaction was for mining or staking, but if you send 100 coins from point A to point B, and if you have the transaction number, which is typically, let me go back and show you. This would be like a typical transaction number. When you click on that, it shows you all the information. It's all public. It's a ledger. Nothing is hiding. Okay. So when you're looking at your supply chain, the supply chain itself needs resources in the form of money to be able to do transaction, because when you think of money, it's energy. That's all it is. Money is a form of energy, like you're exchanging one form of energy for another form of energy. That's all you're doing. So if you're manufacturing something, if you have a service, if you have anything, you're taking your energy and you're saying, okay, I'll trade you this for that. And that is essentially what Bitcoin is. Even though it may not be backed by gold or silver, anything that's tangible, it's backed up by the energy, which is in the form of a belief that individuals have that when it comes time to do a transaction, it's going to maintain some kind of a value. Okay, so any monetary system is based on a belief. It's a belief that you can do a transaction. It's a belief that when you want to use it in the future, it's a belief that it stores energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if there's anything that entrepreneurs have, it's an abundance of belief.
Yeah,
they're making something new out of something that didn't exist before. So that's an act of faith. That's an act of creation.
A great example of it is our whole deal with COVID. The blockchain went to hell there. Everybody was blaming the blockchain. Blockchain was still there. Listen, when people need something and they want something, eventually there's people out there who want to get you the raw materials for it. The only thing that gets in the way is ignorance, lack of communication, or ordering. The whole communication fell apart during the COVID. Nobody really knew, the right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing. But what happened? It worked itself out because of demand. Now when you throw in to our day and age, the AI that's coming, evolving and developing more and more every day, that AI is even going to be able to keep that chain of command more transparent, more open, faster, so that, you know, the communication is just at the pace of lightning. And so, you know, the whole change in how to do business is going to enhance the blockchain. And then really it keeps us from having to be dependent on one particular place as a blockchain. That blockchain can be fed from a ton of different directions, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
More flexibility.
Correct.
More flexibility. More oars in the water. Safer. Okay. Well, that's great. So Albert, you were showing you got the EquityPay Explorer up there. I wanted to ask you, how is EquityPay positioning itself to help entrepreneurs? Because obviously that's our main topic here tonight and the thing we're mostly focused on. So anybody can go on the website right now and look at the white paper and look at what the project aims to do. Would you like to talk a little bit about some of those platforms? Take a minute or two and tell us about some of the things that are being set up for the benefit of entrepreneurs.
Sure. What I'll do is I'll give you a demonstration, but if you go to equitypay.org and you click on, let's do that real quick. Let's go to equitypay.org. And the best place to start is the white paper. We call ourselves the digital asset for entrepreneurs. So everything that we do is geared up for small, medium, and even large entrepreneurs in that sense of being able to create opportunities. So if you want to read the white paper, you just click on white paper. It'll give you a good overview of the project itself, mining, staking, our philosophy for platforms that we're putting together, where you can have these cryptos, but you also want to be able to have platforms that you can spend the cryptos on too. So for an example, one of the platforms that we're putting together is similar to like Amazon, where we want to be able to let our entrepreneurs be able to sell whatever products that they either manufacture or wholesale on a platform similar to Amazon. Now, the advantage of doing our own platform is because in the future, you want to be able to build communities where a corporation doesn't control it. For example, I've tried to sell things on Amazon. It goes okay for a little while. Amazon changes their terms and conditions, and they may kick your product off. It could be a perfectly good product. It doesn't fit their business model, and you're out the door. So we are more geared for a community of like-minded individuals that have the same goals, in place to be able to build these platforms for us and our customers that look out for us and our customers. Okay. So this is one. This is just called HubG, and this is a demo site. But once we build it out, we'll have a community of individuals being able to sell their products on here. Okay. We've got another site that we're putting together. It's called Gnosis. We also feel that education moving forward is going to be very important. So we're going to update the white paper. We want this site to be a scholarship-driven site. So, for example, whatever courses are listed, individuals take that course. They may put a deposit down. When they're done, they're going to get it paid back in a scholarship, which means their education is going to be free, and they're going to get it back in EquityPay coins.
Nice. Okay.
Okay. So this is the demo site. It's going to be called Gnosis, which Gnosis basically means knowledge. Yeah. And look at all the individuals nowadays that are so deeply in debt when it comes to getting a degree. You can go to college for 4 years, for 7 years, you get a degree. That does not guarantee that you're going to be able to end up doing the job that you want, because it's going to be supply and demand. I know a lot of individuals that have degrees that they can't find a job. But the one thing that's guaranteed is they're going to be in debt.
Well, the pace now is so fast, Albert, as far as changes, that you can go and get a great degree. 4 years later, it's not needed anymore.
Right.
What are you going to do,
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. My son just graduated from BYU Hawaii, and he made it through without any debt, but that was by the skin of his teeth and just a lot of hard work. And it took a little bit of extra time because he had to come home and work and go for it. It's just really easy to fall into debt in the pursuit of a degree that nobody's going to ever be able to use, possibly. I wonder what the numbers are on that. People who get a degree, the percentage that actually end up working in the field, directly related to the degree that they pursued for their undergrad.
I
Anyway,
think in the future it's going to change even more, just because it's like Mark said, things move so fast. I remember when I was doing engineering, when I first started my career, when I was in my 20s, a lot of the individuals, even though you come out of college, you have a degree, they don't have the experience. So a lot of times we would have to train them on what to do because they didn't have the practical experience, because a degree just gets your foot in the door.
Right.
And once you put in the door, you still need experience in that occupation to be able to perform. And things are going to be moving so fast in the future. I think you're going to have to be multiple skilled, and you're not going to have really one career direction. I think it's going to create a lot of great opportunities, and it's what you're able to take advantage of with your skill set. And like I'm saying, I do believe education is going to be a big part of it, that we move forward to get people to change their mindsets.
Yeah, I agree. That's almost Darwinian, right? You've got to expand and grow, or else it's sink or swim, sink or swim. I'm thinking, as you're talking, I'm thinking about a lot of the founders that I've worked with and other people who are entrepreneurial and who worked in startups and things like that. And all of them, to a man or a woman, they all had this hunger for continuing education to build up their own abilities and skills. And maybe they'd add a certificate here or grab that MBA or get a certificate in project management, that kind of a thing. But they were always adding on. So a service like this is perfect for that. Now, Albert, you mentioned that the goal or the plan right now is people would be paying dollars for this, and then it'd be refunded to them, or not refunded, but they get a scholarship that would basically be paid back in EquityPay currency. Is that right? Is that the thinking right now?
That is correct. For example, every single course would have some kind of a deposit requirement. There would be free courses that people can take. Like, this is an example of a free course. There's no cost for that. For some of the more advanced courses, there could be a deposit anywhere from $20 to $200 to take a course. Once the course is completed, once you pass the test, once you get your certificate, you will be reimbursed in EquityPay coins. Because what we want to do is to be able to generate wealth. And if you look at this business model of being able to collect upfront, because you have to. If you don't collect something up front, there is no incentive for an individual to do a course where they're not doing some kind of an exchange. There has to be a commitment, because when you look at the word scholarship, that individual had to earn to get to that point to get a scholarship. So what we would require is a deposit. And once you complete it, we will give it back in the sense of a scholarship. You've earned it from that point.
Got it. Yeah, that's perfect. That makes great sense. Well, look, we're coming up on about a minute and a half left here for tonight. I'll let you guys have the last word here in just a minute, but I just love this. I think this is an awesome topic. I think we should come back to this and revisit it again. There seems to be a lot of benefits, specifically for entrepreneurs, to working with crypto and to using crypto. So, everything from lower transaction fees, just speeding up payments and money to enhance security and opening up new opportunities for funding. It's just an exciting time to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. So, but let me turn the time back over to you guys. I want to know what you have to think. What are your thoughts?
All I say is get on the membership waiting list. It's going to be worth it. Go get on the membership waiting list. It's going to change your life. I got nothing else to say.
What I want to say, we live in a world that's uncertain. And it seems like every day it feels as if it's getting more uncertain on a day-by-day basis. I think what's going to happen is that uncertainty also creates opportunity. So
Yeah.
you can either sit back in fear and think that the worst is going to happen in the future, or you can start to embrace and change for the betterment of the future, because there's going to be a lot of good things that happens too. So it's really changing your mindset on how you see yourself, see your future, and what you want to be to make a contribution to that.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. So we'd love to know what you guys think of this. Are there areas that we need to explore further? We only talked about 3 or 4 of them tonight. How else can entrepreneurs benefit from cryptocurrency? Like and subscribe to this video if you want to see more. And we're really glad to be on board this journey with you. Thanks a lot and good night.
Good night.